I'm graduating. Sorry, I just washed my hands. It's all shiny. I'm graduating soon. And I don't know if I'm going to be overeducated. And to be honest, I kind of didn't get a master's degree originally to get a master's degree. Let me explain. I'm Dave. This is Dave Splains. And this is why I really got a master's degree. This would be a really great time to actually have an intro, but I never have an intro. And maybe now that I'm done with school, I can get an intro. So, I guess the whole thing is like, I always wanted to aspire to educational excellence. But growing up as a kid, I didn't really come from a lot of money, so I never really thought that college would be in the cards for me. And I always figured I could at least get an associate's degree. Well, I went and got an associate's degree, and I just kept on going. Now the fun part of this is how did I afford college? I joined the Army. I served honorably for a few years. I got my degree I got my honorable discharge. I got a whole bunch of medals and badges and all that other good stuff. Army Commendation Medal. But then I got out and there really wasn't much going on except for a recession. So not really easy getting a job. I think I worked at a garden center for a few months. Sorry. And then I started school, and I really didn't like it. Like I guess I could go back like way back when I first got out of high school, and I tried to go to school, and I didn't do the paperwork correctly for the student loan, which kind of dates me a little bit when I say I did the paperwork, because it was literally paperwork that I had to fill out. So the loan never went through, and I ended up having to pay for my own education, and I couldn't go back to school until I paid off that debt. Well, I went into the real world, and I got the job, and I paid off the debt, and then I got mad at the job because they only wanted to hire me on contract. They never wanted to hire me permanent. And I got mad about it, and I said, if you don't hire me in the next 2 weeks, I'm out. And they called my bluff, and they said, well, who's going to hire you in 2 weeks? And I said, the U.S. Army will. They called my bluff. I joined the Army, and yeah. That's a whole nother video right there. Anyway, I came out, I went back to school. I had no real knowledge of what I wanted to do, except for I wanted to go back to my original plan, which was electrical engineering. Now, the local community college, like, I didn't think I could ever get into the bachelor's degree. I mean, I don't know what happened with my self-esteem, but I didn't think I could do the bachelor's degree, so I went to the associate's degree again. If you've got the money, don't do the associate's degree. I know it's all like, oh, but it's cheaper and you can get your gen eds and everything. No. If you have the money, like if you have the GI Bill, like I had, don't get an associate's degree. Go get a bachelor's degree. It's actually easier to get a bachelor's degree than an associate's degree, in my opinion, because like a 4-year school really wants you to. That's another video. So I got my associate's degree. I actually went to 3 different colleges, and that's another video. Like I said, an associate's degree, hard to get. A bachelor's degree, easier to get. I went to 3 different community colleges in order to get my associate's degree. I went to one college to get my bachelor's and my master's. That's ridiculous. So, sorry, I had an alarm pop up. So, and the whole thing is just, there's a lot of different reasons why I had to go to three different colleges. The last college I actually went to because of the fact that I wanted to live in Colorado, so it had nothing to do with academia or anything like that or money, whatever. It was just because I wanted to live in Colorado for a few years. I just thought I'd try it out. So I got my associate's degree, and I think it was easier at that college, but when I came when it came to actually getting a job, it was really hard because I didn't have a lot of experience. I had an internship, but I didn't have a lot of experience. Like, I blazed through my hours at my internship faster than I was supposed to, and the way they structure them in Colorado is different because of another issue. That's another video. That I get to make. So, I got what little experience I could. I got a job that, again, that's another video. That's another video. But I got a job. I liked my job for the most part. I did not like my job for other reasons. But I think I learned a lot from that company. So there's that. But then we came back home to Wisconsin. And again, couldn't find work. I ended up becoming an electrician for a while. And then one of the electricians was just like very nice guy named Mike, really good guy. And he's just, why are you here? I said, what are you talking about? He's like, look, you're a really nice guy. Okay, you're a hard worker. You're a very hard worker, but you're constantly thinking. I'll watch you, and you're like kind of like just thinking about how things are done and how to improve them. But you're never just shutting off your brain and just getting the job done. You're a thinker. You're not a doer. You're not really made for this. That's probably the best advice I'd ever heard. And I think a lot of people had told me when I was younger that, I was meant for college, but, when people want to tell you that you're an amazing person and, you're just like, oh, well, that's family, that's friends and everything. No. Believe it, because, being a person is pretty amazing in and of itself. He's just like, I think labor people, like people who can shut that off and just do things rapidly, I think that's amazing. I can't even conceive of the ability to do that because I'm a thinker. I am here to improve things. I want to make things better. I want to get things done faster. I want to be more efficient. That's me. And there's nothing wrong with that, but there's also nothing wrong with being, it's just we're all parts of a machine. And some of us have different jobs that we can do, and you can't make a cog be a spring. That's my point. Okay, so I kind of went off on a tangent here. He basically just said, you know what, we were talking before, and you said you could get back into college. Why don't you go back into college? And I said, well, I've already got my associate's degree. And he goes, so, why don't you go back to college? So, I think I was doing Uber and Lyft to try to make a little money on the side while I was an electrician. And I ended up working a lot around the colleges. And a lot of the students, we'd be sitting there talking about different things, and they'd say, why don't you go back to college? And I looked at my paperwork finally, and it turns out I still had some Montgomery GI Bill money left. So I went back to college. because I already had an associate's degree, because I already had a lot of the credits that I needed, I actually ended up being able to go and finish my bachelor's degree in a year and a half. Unfortunately, that also left no real time for internships. I thought getting the degree would be better than getting experience, and I was wrong. I finished up in 2017, got my degree, and I was out the door and unemployed for almost a year. I worked freelance. I did some freelance jobs, and I didn't really make any money, and no one wanted to hire me because I didn't have any experience. I got in, and then, or I spent the summer like this, and then daycare. This is how the master's degree happened. Daycare told me at the college that my kids' tuition would double if I wasn't a student, and I became a student 3 days later, which is another video, because that video is going to be how to get a GRE, or how to get into a master's degree without doing a GRE, because I didn't do a GRE. I actually went in on a program. So that's basically how it all happened. And then getting my master's degree took another few years because I did go and get experience. So now I have experience, and in a week I will be done with all of my work and waiting to virtually walk across a stage and get my master's degree and whatnot and so forth in data science. So I hope you enjoyed my little trip down memory lane, and I'm actually going to make another video about this because I really have to get my kid back upstairs. I'm back in school. I don't know.